So in answering the question why Yidden are called Tzivos Hashem, so he brings three pirushim in the word tzava: soldier or troop, set time, and color and beauty. And he explained, as the Rebbe explained, that there are different levels, different avodas amongst Yidden, and when they, in their unity, so they complement each other, and each individual is enhanced. This is the Rebbe's beer, a little bit of the Rebbe's beer here. And the Friedrich Rebbe concludes, and this is the connection to Yom Mitzvot V'Lo Echad. He formed days, and unto him is one of them, unto him is one, or as he's touching it, unto him is each one. That's really the Friedrich Rebbe's touch, it seems. V'Lo Echad, unto him is each one. The idea being that when a person will utilize every day in the Avodah as outlined till now in the Maimer, so then he is part of Tzivos Hashem. This is what he goes on to say in the Maimer, stressing the importance of every day, which so far seems to be the answer to the big question that took all of these pages. Why Tzivos Hashem? Because it's negeya that the Avodah be translated on a daily basis, which leads to the next question. Tzarich lahavin, ma'in the yom mitzvah. What is it? Why is it so important that each day have its Avodah? In other words, why isn't the aggregate amount of mitzvahs enough? So you do 2 mitzvahs today, and you would have done it today, and tomorrow you do 2 today. And tomorrow you won't. Well, today nothing, and I'll catch up and do tomorrow. Why is it that's not so? Yom Mitzvah, and that Tzivos Hashem and Tzava implies this set time component. Why is it that there has to be the Avodah invested in each day, shehem levusha Torah mitzvahs, which are the garments of Torah mitzvahs. You do Torah mitzvahs in something, you do it in time and space. That he learns and does each day. Why is that so important? The point is, do the mitzvahs. Do Torah, do mitzvahs daily. Quoting here from about Avram, that Avram had come of days, and the Zohar says that he lacked for no days, and the Zohar says, woe to the person who comes on high with having lacked days. He's missing garments. He's coming partially undressed. Lacking one day, lacks a garment, a necessary garment. Why? In the Yom Mitzvot, this is what the pasuk is saying. That Yom Mitzvot, he formed days, and each one of them has to be filled. There's a dafke, and yet through this, as you explain later, that it's written with an aleph, or you read it with a vav, as we mentioned, right? 2 meanings of the pasuk. Days he formed, and unto him is one. That's Shabbos. Days he formed, and not one, is describing the pre-creation state. So it's written with an aleph and read with a vav. And explain that. That level that is achieved, dafke, when what? When the avodah is done every day. As we'll deal with when we get to it, the kri and the ksiv. We'll elaborate when we get to it. So now we introduce the Tzemach Tzedek to explain the critical necessity, the maila of every day. Since the mitzvahs are done, Torah mitzvahs, but the neshama and the guf, then it could be, and it's possible to be mixed such matters, because of which the person will not need to wash and to cleanse his garments. Since we're down here in Elam Hazeh, in a guf, So it ain't necessarily smooth sailing. And a person can become sullied and dirty. As is noted and explained, when looking at the Lashon Chazal, they speak about actions, Torah and actions, they say Maisim Tovim. Good actions. Well, of course we're talking good. We're talking mitzvahs. Why does Chazal have to add in the context of Torah and Maisim Tovim? What was he talking Tovim? Kol B'tzedek? Yehuda? Somebody here? Is everybody okay? What?
He's going to listen. He's going to call, listen to the phone.
Whose phone is that?
He's going to call times and call it.
Shina Maisa Blavadin and Maspikadain, because action alone is not enough. So actually what he's talking about, the Tzemach Tzedek, is not Averis. He's talking about mitzvahs that are not done, B'shleimus. But the actions have to be Toivim, good, luminous. So we're talking about the mitzvahs that we do. But the mitzvahs that are lacking kavanah, they're lacking proper intent, etc. Here, the chitzas ma'aseh adam, connecting to the previous maimer, that all the avodah that a person does has its aliyah through tefillah. So here's what Tzemach Tzedek says, page Chav Dalet at the top, that the washing of the person, nasa the avodah is tefillah, ki yadu as it's known, shali is calling in a Torah mitzvahs, the aliyah, the ascent of all of one's Torah mitzvahs, v'chein am shachas. And likewise, what did they listen? What they draw down, shnim shachim al yodem, that are drawn down through one's Torah mitzvahs, al yadei avodah tefillah. It's all through tefillah. Because the Yisa, Sulam Mutov Arza, Vareish Megi Hashemayim, because tefillah straddles like the ladder, the very depth and the very height. Avodas tefillah, you know, avodas hayom, now davening, the avodas daily, yom v'layla, when it's obligated day and night, or night and day. Shadat tefillah is connected with tiknum. The tefillahs were enacted corresponding to the kabbanis, to the tamidim, which were brought twice a day, morning and evening, the korban tamid. Shungin shtam shel shachar v'tam shel ben arba'im. That's why the primary tefillahs, of course, are shachas and mincha. Ma'ariv was a minig that became later an obligation, which is why we don't repeat the Amidah, because they correspond to, he's pointing out here, the basic components of morning and evening. Like he explains in the Cont, the Pasuk, you shall know today and take to your heart, the Avodah is that Havaya should be Elikim, the Likud should be drawn down into the world of nature. Says the Alter Rebbe that this is all affected through tefillah. What's the pasuk saying? What does it mean to take to your heart? That's avodas tefillah. That's what davening is. K'may merazal, as the Gemara says, the pasuk says, you shall serve Hashem with all your heart. How do you serve with the heart? You serve with your hands, with your feet. How do you serve with the heart? So this is therefore one says the Gemara, zu tefillah. So we're talking here in the pasuk, you should take to your heart, we mean tefillah. And what does the pasuk say? You should know today. What does you have to add the word today? You should know. What's the today? There's many biurim. But here the biur is Pirish V'daitai. This is one biur is after the 40 years. Now you have to know already. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Yidden. But here this Pirish is Pirish V'daitai Yom, that it's got to be daily. Just like a day has a day and a night, and together they form one unit. It was evening and morning one day. Also alluded to here is, in addition to the physical night and day, it means the times of concealment, times of revelation, and all evening and morning. One has to thread it all with Yom Echad. It's alt. all the likus. It's all a bishter, and he serves God in all conditions. But then here the diak is in pshutat every day. Kach v'shivoyse lovecha. You have to take to your heart shekemay shu bizman, just like it is in time. Or he's adding, giving another ruchnistic dimension to day and night here. Kenu benefesh. What does that mean? What's night and day within the nefesh itself? Which one? Huh?
Sorry, I'm not listening. Go ahead.
Put on mute.
Okay.
It's connected to what I said before, night and day, meaning times of concealment, times of revelation. It's connected to the Pirush he gives over here. It's from the Alter Rebbe, that what's night and day within the person, and the day is night and day, it is Shagama Yitzhahara. Yoshev Lavedis Avaya. The night is the Yitzhahara. Kamishachosov, he also has to serve Hashem, not just with the Nefesh Alikis. Which means also, not only to serve Hashem when you're inspired, but to serve Hashem when you're not inspired, when the Yitzhahara is the upper hand. Okay, that's Bal Korchai, but in the higher level is actually transforming the Yitzhahara, channeling him. Levels and levels. With all your heart, the two bases, conveying that to serve Hashem with both inclinations. And it's this that makes one day, the Yom Echad, the head of Yom Echad, this it reveals the true oneness of Hashem when he serves Hashem with not just Yitzhahara, but Yitzhahara, not just Neshama, but Guf, not just good times and bad times. It is in the fellas of Chas v'Shalom. It is in the fellas of Avidus Adam ba'inyan davayachad, and that brings about and reveals the one day, that one God, Havayu Likim, that which means that even in concealment and revelation, it's all Him. Yeah, general ideas we get. Yeah, V'zeh klolos inyan Avidus Atfilah. So this is all to explain why it's Negeya Tzivus Hashem, because it's all about bringing it into every moment. Zer Klolos in Avedis HaTfilah. She Avedas Yom Yom. Tfilah is the Aved. Sorry? The Aved every day. Yom Yitzharo, he formed days. Lirchaytz Ulechabes es Lavushi Ater Mitzvos. Is the Tzemach Tzedek's word. We need to wash and to cleanse and to launder the garments of Torah mitzvahs. Okay, we'll stop here and see what it pearls. So what's the answer? What's the answer? B'chlal is, what's the answer b'chlal? What do you think the answer would be? Why it has to be every day? And not enough just the aggregate amount of learning that you do, or mitzvahs that you do. Put on tefillin twice today, and not tomorrow. Okay, but other examples, learn twice today, not tomorrow. What the answer that you would give b'chlal?
It needs to be in the Zman too. That's part of the...
Did it b'tachtoinim. Yeah, it doesn't, that's, is that what he's saying? That's the answer b'chlal. I mein, even in the Maimorim, the Basi L'Gani Maimorim. That the whole avodah is did it b'tachtoinim, and that means you have to be mamshech likos in time and space, and every day has to be fulfilled. Here, the diak of the Tzemach Tzedek is, tefillah is every day, but why do you need tefillah every day? Because since Torah mitzvahs, since
Like the other night.
To make it a leader as a mashal.
yeah, but the Tzemach Tzedek, the Tzemach Tzedek began. Just go back to look what he says. And he ends with it. Tzemach Tzedek says that the avodah has to be that since the avodah is in the shom in the guf, therefore it's all to fix things. Therefore, the shayach they should be mixing into the Torah mitzvahs, things that are not so good. And the only way to fix that, to follow the train, the sequence here. The way to fix that is what? Tefillah. And tefillah has to be every day. So the cont of the answer is to fix. I'm just pointing out, I have to think about this further. The Hadgosha here is not the point that he said, Yom V'Layla, all pointing to bringing Elikus into Welt. That's kind of part of the equation here, but just follow the sequence. The logic here is, it's your mitzvahs can be imperfect, it's shaykh, not the right kavanah, etc., distracted. So you need tefillah to elevate it, and tefillah has to be every day. Therefore, your mitzvahs need the daily washing of tefillah. Therefore, the maila of tzava of Yom Mitzorah. You understand what I'm asking?
But yeah,
He's not putting the emphasis, quite simply, the avodah is to be mamshech it every day. Yomam, v'layla, yitzahara, days, man, didip, tachtoinim. That's not that gosh.
but in that Goshen, it still doesn't answer why it needs to be every day. Why can't I just fix up all my mitzvahs and
Because tefillah is every day.
So Yitzhahara doesn't make a
But
day
the
off.
question is, why is tefillah every day?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't address, it does. So why tefillah is every day kind of does say, because yitzahara, yitzatov, yom v'layla. So it's smuggled in. But the fulcrum of the answer is, your mitzvahs have to be perfected. The only way you can do that is tefillah, and tefillah is every day. Doesn't seem to get to the zero in on the core answer to why you need to do your avodah every day, because that's all about the b'tachtoin. Tzarich iyin k'tzas, I'm to look into it. You know, guys have made all kinds of biyurim purushim on the Maimah. Let's see if somebody has anything. But let's see the end now. Maybe the end. So what does the pasuk say? The pasuk says Yom Mitzorah v'loy echad b'hem. Now there's ksiv and there's kri, right? Many times you find this phenomena in Torah. It's written one way, but it's read another way. To the ear, you can't tell the difference. But the way it's written, and often happens with the interplay, the interchange of the aleph and the vav. Loy with an aleph, loy with a vav, like b'chol tzarosam leitzar, the most classic. And all of their sorrows, so it's written leitzar. He's not sorrowful, but then we read it loy, unto him, it's opposite pirush. Unto him is tzar. So this explains in general it's like this. The written level is the higher level. The kri, the way we call it, summon it forth, is that the way that level is nimshach. And the fusing the two means we're drawing down that which is fundamentally beyond. So an example of b'chol tzarosam leitzar, which is written with an aleph, like God is unaffected, and then read he is affected, means that he, in essence, he would be unaffected, but he is, because he is chose to be, and that's the chiddush, that the aleph, no, is drawn into the vav, yes, vav amshocha. The word aleph, lower than aleph, doesn't just mean no, but he's going to say in a second, the word aleph is the word pella. First it means aloof, in Latin, therefore in English, and the general is in Hebrew is called an aloof. So it means beyond, aloof, or pella, wondrous, beyond. So the Eibishter Etzem, of course, is aloof and totally beyond. Aleph. But nonetheless, loy with the vav, he is chosen to be connected. And I'll say now, at this point, I just want to revisit something said earlier in the Maimah, which in all of the Oisies, it's easy to lose. And it's maybe for me, one of the critical points of the tremendous messages here in the Maimah. And we'll soon decide who's going to be sharing this on Shabbos. At the Fabring Shabbos, lately someone shares what they're taking out of the Maimah that week. Could you walk from it? It's a long walk from.
If you want at 3 o'clock, you know.
At 3 o'clock. Maybe. Anyway, so, friends, you'll remember there's all arichas with the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid. I'm not going to go to all arichas, just the bottom line point. The diyukim in the way the Baal Shem Tov talks about false humility, misplaced humility. Who am I? What effect do I have? And in his description of our effect, is all the Yukim did is the Melech Godel V'Noira, talks about the angels being sustained. And then the Magid talks about addressing the question of the Medrash that by the sea they saw the Eibishter as what? No? As a bocher, as a nar. They saw the Eibishter as a bocher because they were a nar. And by the sea, by our sin, they saw the Eibishter as what? As a zokin. Change. The Nakuda, all his friends, is a very critical point. The Rebbe concludes the whole beer with that the Maimer is telling us that when a Yid does his skafi and his habcha, it's not only his mamshich atzmus. Now that kind of sounds strange. Not only. What could be greater? Atzmus. He's telling you, Kordakut Shebrichu, Seviv Kolam, the Rebbe explains, doesn't mean the classic Seviv. It means Seviv up to atzmus and mahus. Not just the Eretz of mamash atzmus. Dira, all the biyurim we had till now in the Maimer, that the etzem is in the dira, all the nuance. So the Rebbe is saying that not only is a yid mamshech atzmus. Problem with that? That's where it stopped. Tak mamshech atzmus. But what does it have to do with me? This is everybody that does a mitzvah. You're mamshech atzmus, and we carry out the kavan of dira b'tachtoinim. Beautiful. What's missing here is the personal relationship. So this is the whole dig that Rebbe labels the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid Arichas Gedoyla in the Maimer. And all the ois, it's easy to lose the point. The point is that, and it's all in the Yukim of Yidik Rebbe's words, that the Eibishter's essential revelation comes tailored individually to each person on their level. Kebacher, Kezakin, all the Yukim of the Yesheves Beganim, all the extremes of the Taichin and Neshamas Lamayla, Lamata, Malachim. We're Yidin in Golus, Beganim Shalacherim. Whatever matziv the person is, Mari Torah, Mari Uvdin Tovin, masters of Chachma, of Sedis HaTorah, or the simple Jew who does mitzvahs b'tmimus. Atzmos, the Eibush himself relates, and you are mamshich, and you are listening, and you're drawing down the very essence of Hashem, but this is the most important part of it, in your world, the most intimate and personal way. And as you evolve and change, Kavayochel the Eibishter, Kavayochel changes. That's the whole Magid. It's a tremendous thing, like a father who has the image of the child forever in his mind. As the child is growing, that image is changing. Father didn't change, but in the most intimate part of the father, his thoughts, where the child is engraved, that there's a change there because of the matzav of Yidden, of the child. And we are all the Eibishter's only child. It's a huge point because it's mamshich atzmos. Good. So is he. I'm very happy that atzmos' desire of nisav did it has been fulfilled. Happy to be part of it. It's a privilege. It's all true, awesome and wondrous. But that would not fulfill the purpose. It's all about the relationship with the individual person. That's the shleimus. That's the dira. Again, the dira is in build a house. Done? No, it's about the tiniest little interactions that you're going to have with your soulmates in your home, but that are not consequential. They're just relationship. They're the stuff of relationship. Anybody else looking at wouldn't even understand. You know, the language, the communication with husband and wife, it's not functional stuff. It's pure relationship stuff. And there is the dira. Add something now to this. I'll come back to me. An important point. So this is saying now the loy and with the aleph and a loy with a vav. Like they zeh. Where are we, friends? We're page Chav Dalet, some 7 lines from the bottom of. There's a again, looking at the Kri and the Ksiv. So the Ksiv is the higher level, it's written, but the Kri is the summoning for the lower level. The Vav. Vav is Amshacha, Vav is bringing it down in the Midas, etc. So there's a Peil Liyos. He formed days and there is none to him. Not one to him, meaning we're drawing down the loy with an aleph. Again, ois pella. No, meaning no, God's totally beyond you. You're nothing. Would be, could be, but I'm everything because he wants me. So that's the ksiv. Shulamar mishtal shalus sheyumshich be'echad, that be drawn down into the echad. Echad, see, again it seems the unity of the night and day, the avodah that the year affects down here. Al yedei loy bevav, the kri. So he draws this all down through the lamed with the vav, that's the way we read it. Shehem avov midas elyonis, so atzmas drawn down through the 6 midas. Now we're talking God tailored and invested. V'sel pnimis habir shetzarech lisena yomim dafke. Oh, boom. So this is the inner reason why it has to be days. We're getting at it. As he explains, the source of physical days, the 6 days of the week, are the six supernal days. Shem midas elyon is the 6 supernal midas. It's just the idea of the tachtonim. That's what it comes back to. Shal yodam nimshecha samshocha ad sfiras malchus. It's through the midas that atzmos is drawn into malchus, which means invested into the minutia of creation. Ba'avodas haTorah mitzvahs, which we affect through Torah mitzvahs. So, again, we're a little bit of attention. He starts off with saying, you need every day, because you got to daven every day to fix your Torah mitzvahs, but then it comes back to the bottom line, that Torah mitzvahs is all about the amshacha of the aleph, atzmos, the pele, in the vav, down into our world and my life, which is bound by time and space, which is where I live and breathe, and there in the avodah of Torah mitzvahs of every day, Yom Mitzoru v'loy echad, we affect the echad, the ultimate unity, by drawing down the aleph through the vav into Elam Haz. Clear? The general idea we have. Yeah?
And that's why every day vav, each day.
Yeah, that's why vav every 6 days of the week, etc. And Malchus at the 7th day, Shabbos, which is the ultimate dir, the ultimate engagement, where the essence is fully revealed in all of the details. What did I want to say before and it was important? Okay, it'll come to me. Old age, my friends, not fun. It's scary. Mamshi b'maimer shadei avodas haberurim. What the Rebbe is going through, I mean, we do you well to learn Ois Yud again, because it's quite simply going through the Maimer piece by piece and explaining each piece of Ois 10, Ois Yud of the Fidik Rebbe's Maimer. So it continues in the Maimer shadei avodas haberurim. So we refine and the world, the oisim now, mikasher keresh. So these are the three letters, right? Shin kuf reish, which in the previous oisis we learned, they are letters which belong on the other side of kedusha, and through avodah we transform them. So the 3 words that these 3 letters make, of course, what? Kesha means not. Keresh means the board of the Mishkan. And then there's the third, sheker, lie. So, frankly, the OC is a little bit hard. We'll see in the brackets later, a few lines that, and no, the next sieve, it'll kind of explain it. But these are the words of the Fidik Rebbe. The oisim mikasher keresh, we make from the knot the board. Now he's going to, I'll tell you now, he says later, through the knot, through the avodah of connection. That's what the oisim sound like you're going from kesher to knot to keresh. It means this. Kesher means a knot. By connecting higher and lower, we transform the lie of the world into the kesher. Again, the lie of the world is, I am independent. And the I am independent, the I am, we just lost somebody. Oh. The I am is really, in the end, a corruption of the true I am, the Eibishter. I'm going to share this with them. I'm asked to speak tomorrow. These kids are 14, I don't know how old exactly. And the question that I've been asked to address is why should God care about them? These little details that wash the right hand, the left hand. This is the example that was given. Why would God care? This is the Baal Shem Tov's, point, misplaced humility. But it's a very valid question. So, how do you bring this down in such a way that a 14 or 13-year-old busy with TikTok, apparently this new crazy obsession, it's this new app that's got billions of viewers, and it's highly, highly toxic, creating a perpetual state of fantasy world for the user, very seductive. And in class, apparently, I'm told, they're so addicted that they have to have their phone with them and live out this fantasy, whatever this is. You play something out and whatever it does. I don't know the details. So how do you get through to here? Anyway, I don't know. I have to think long and hard about this. I've still got 24 hours. But I want to share with you is this point. This from the sheker to make the keresh, the board. What's the board? The board connects, he says, the pillar, really, the lowest and the highest, the biggest corruption with the ultimate truth. The fact is that only the human being and Elam Hazeh walks around with this absolute sense of I am. That's all we are aware of. I am. It's a terrible thing when you think about it. You really can't. Can you really know somebody else or feel somebody else? We've been locked, mamish, into our own prisoners of our own device. It's not our device; it's Hashem's makings. You're born with a child is born the most selfish creature in the world. He knows only of me, and that doesn't change. Period. Everything we know is filtered through our own experience. The communication, the whole avodah, to know that there's somebody else in the world. This is so foreign to our fundamental being. It's hardwired to the core. You cannot get into somebody else's head and feel what they're feeling, as long as you're locked into a goof. Them says we should be able to, and that's what a tzaddik, a nossi, does that naturally, because he's touched with his own neshama to the depth. The deeper you go into own neshama, the more all other neshamas are connected. So he has true empathy, because he's very clever, insightful, and psychological. True empathy, because in touch with his own neshama, he feels the dan of neshama. And to some degree, we can have this. A person who's very refined can feel. At the end of the world, the pull, the cry, and there are many stories like this of somebody else, something. But by and large, we're disconnected totally from somebody else's feelings and mind, locked in this I. Terrible prison. And the source of all problems. It's the source of every problem, period. His disconnect, his ego, is therefore fear and so on. Competition. Why does the Rebbe do that? The end is the ultimate blessing in the sense, because dafke in Elam Hazeh, and dafke in this sense of I, as Pari says, I am. Pari said, I made myself. I am the Nile, and so on. It's dafke in Elam Hazeh that the true I, the true exclusive and absolute I, the Eibishter, is invested, expressed, present. It's very humbling, therefore extraordinarily liberating and demanding truth to consider that my selfish I, I'm not responsible for that, I was just born a human being that's fundamentally selfish, is really the expression of the ultimate I. Therefore, I want to express my I in alignment with the true I of Hashem, which paradoxically means egolessness. Right, it's already 7 o'clock. Okay, so we're going to move tomorrow in Hashem and explain the kesher, the sheker, and the keresh. Yankee, have a wonderful day.
Bye.